Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel Breaking the Barriers. So today's video is based on CBSE class 11th English book Hornbill, and the name of the chapter is We Are Not Afraid to Die If We Are All Together. So today, with the help of this video, I am going to explain this chapter to you, and I want you to keep your NCRT book open in front of you with a pencil in your hand, because I am going to give you a line by line explanation, and I want you to mark the important points and the vocabulary that I'm going to explain in this video. So without wasting any further time, let's start the video. Do make sure that you subscribe the channel and like the video. So this chapter is written by Gordon Cook and Alan East, and I'm going to give you a short intro of this particular chapter so that you are able to understand that what this chapter is all about. So written by Gordon Cook and Alan East, the story is about a 37-year-old businessman. He was a businessman, the main character of the story. Okay, and he happens to be the narrator of the story, means he is telling you a story of an incident which happened in his own life. Okay, so this is written in first person context. He has a wife named Mary and two children, Jonathan aged 6 years and Susan aged 7 years. So this is the family. He and his wife both dream of a voyage around the world on their ship. Now, what's a voyage? Voyage is a sea journey, a journey through ship. Okay, so they planned it around the world. The name of the ship or the boat that they are using for this journey is Wave Walker, and Wave Walker is a 23-meter long boat, 30-ton wooden hulled, means the weight of this boat is 30 ton, and wooden hulled means it is completely made out of wood. Hull, this word means the frame and the body of the ship, without the engine, fittings, mast, or sails. We are not talking about the complete ship, we are only talking about the main frame of the ship, the body of the ship. It is known as hull. So when we are saying wooden hull, means the body of the ship or the construction of the ship is of wood. Okay, just like that of famous Captain James Cook. Now, there was a very famous sailor, Captain James Cook. He planned this around the world journey, and this businessman with his family is trying to imitate or copy that journey. He's going to travel on the same path or the same route. The whole family started sailing for Plymouth. Plymouth is a city in England from July 1976. The initial phase of the 3 year long journey, yes, because they are going around the world, so it's a long journey, and you must be aware of this fact that traveling on sea in a ship takes a lot more time than any other mode of transportation. So this 3 year long journey was the first phase of the 3 year long journey was from Africa to Cape Town. It was pleasant. While heading eastward, they were going eastward along with two newly hired crewmen. They hired two crewmen. Now, who are crewmen? Crewmen means people who are part of a team or a crew. Generally, this word is used for people who work on ships. So, they know how to set sails and they know how to tackle difficult situations in on a ship or boat. So these two crewmen are hired for additional professional help, because obviously narrator is not a professional sailor. So these two crewmen were hired. Strong waves hit them and their survival became a question. There came a storm. Now obviously this journey was not simple, and they witnessed many storms and mishappenings during the journey. The story tells us about how they fought each and every obstacle for the survival to the end. So this is the intro of the chapter. So now I am starting with line by line explanation of the chapter. So we are starting from the first page. In July 1976, my wife Mary, son Johnson, 6, daughter Susan, 7. Means Jonathan was 6 years old and Susan was 7 years old. And I here refers to the narrator, or I set sail from Plymouth, England, to duplicate the round the world voyage made 200 years earlier by Captain James Cook. This I've already told you, and this voyage was made by Captain James Cook 200 years ago. Okay, quite a long time back. For the for the longest time, Mary and I, a 37-year-old businessman, had dreamt of sailing in the wake of the famous explorer. Means they have always dreamt of sailing like this famous explorer, Captain James Cook. And for the past 16 years, we have spent all our leisure time means free time, honing our seafaring skills in British water. Oaring means sharpening or improving, and seafaring means how to sail a boat in the sea or how to make a sea journey. Our boat, Wave Walker, 23-meter, 30-ton wooden hulled beauty, had been professionally built, and we had spent months fitting it out and testing it in the roughest weather we could find. Obviously, you need, if you are planning to go on such big journey, around the world journey, then your boat must be strong enough and able to handle these type of journeys, and that is why they tested the boat thoroughly before planning anything ahead. The first leg of our planned 3-year 1,05,000 kilometer journey passed pleasantly as we sailed down the west coast of Africa to Cape Town. There, before heading east, we took on two crewmen, American Larry Vigil and Swiss Herb Sigler, to help us tackle one of the world's roughest seas and southern Indian Ocean. So from Cape Town, they hired two crewmen, Larry, who was an American, and Herb, who was a Swiss citizen, means belonging to Switzerland. And these crewmen were hired with the intention to help the family during the further journey, which could be rough, according to the narrator. On our second day out of Cape Town, we began to encounter strong gales. Strong gales means strong winds. For the next few weeks, they blew continuously. Continuously, the strong winds are blowing. Gales did not worry me, but the size of the waves was alarming. Now, obviously, when you are on a ship in a sea and the winds start to flow with intensity, the intensity of the wind forms big waves in the water. Okay, so the waves are quite troubling for the narrator because they are up to 15 meters in height, as high as our main mast. Now, what is a mast? Suppose this is the ship, the structure of the ship. On top of the ship, everybody know that you have sails. Sails are big cloths which you open, and with the help of those sails you transform the energy of the wind to help move the ship. So those sails are tied on big long posts. those poles those poles could be made of wood or iron, steel. So those poles are known as mast. Understood? The poles on which sails are set are known as mast. So main mast means the mast which is in the center of the ship, the tallest one. Okay. December 25th found us 3,500 millimeters, 3,500 kilometers east of Cape Town. So they are 3,500 kilometers away from where they hired the crewmen. Despite atrocious weather, atrocious means something which is deteriorating or becoming furious day by day. Okay? Dangerous. We had a wonderful holiday complete with a Christmas tree. Now, obviously, when they are planning this long journey, so obviously it doesn't mean that they are not going to celebrate. So, whatever festivals came in between, like Christmas came, though they celebrated this Christmas with a Christmas tree on the ship itself. New Year's Day saw no improvement in the weather, but we reasoned that it had to change soon, and it did change for the worse. So, New Year also didn't bring any positive news, but they always reasoned or they always thought and motivated each other by saying that further the weather will improve in the further course of our journey. But it changed to worse. Okay, means the weather changed, but it changed to worse than before. At dawn on 2nd Jan, the waves were gigantic, very huge. We were sailing with only a small storm jib. Storm jib is a small triangular sail which is used during storm or emergency situations. See, when the wind is blowing too fast, you cannot open all the big sails because then you will not be able to steer the ship properly because the intensity of the wind is too much. That is why you open this small triangular sail so that the power of the wind could be controlled and you could only take that much energy from the wind which is needed by you for those situations. So that is known as a storm jib. In simple words, it is a small triangular sail only. And still, with that small storm jib, also they were making a speed of 8 knots. Knots is a measure of speed, which is used for measuring the speed of the ships and all. As the ship rose to the top of each wave, you know, na, when ships sail and there is a big wave coming, so when the wave comes, the ship goes on like this. It says hit the waves and it try to come up from that. That is what he's saying. We could see endless enormous seas rolling towards us. So when the ship reaches at the top of the wave, they could see enormous big sea over there. And the screaming of the wind and the spray was painful to the ears. The screaming of the wind, because wind is blowing very fast, and the spray, water droplets are splashing on their face and throughout the ship because of the storm. To slow the boat down, we dropped the storm jib and lashed a heavy mooring rope in the loop across the stern. Now, please understand this thing very carefully because nobody explains this thing. They were only using the storm jib, still the speed is too much for those conditions. And that is why they dropped the storm jib and they lashed. Lashed matlab in a circular motion they tied the mooring line. Mooring line are big ropes which are used to make a ship stagnant or stable at a particular position. You must be aware that when ships are when ships are standing still near the ports, they are tied with ropes so that they should not float with the water. So those ropes are known as mooring lines. These mooring lines are used to, you can say, to park the ship near the coast or near the shore. So they lashed the mooring line means they tied the mooring lines on the stern. Stern is the back portion of the boat. I will attach a picture of a boat with this video in which all the parts of the boat will be labeled. You will see that picture in this video that will help you to understand these terms in an effective way. So stern is the back portion of the boat. Suppose this is the boat, this is the front portion. So this would be the stern, the back portion. So they tied the mooring line on the stern. Now what will it do is they tie the mooring line in such a way that it also touches the water. So when the boat moves, suppose they have tied the mooring line here. So they tie it in such a way in circular motion that it also touches the surface of the water. So when the ship moves, the mooring line creates friction with water, and due to the friction, the speed of the boat or the ship is reduced. Okay. Then we double lashed everything. Double lashed everything means they tied everything on the boat. We went through our life raft drill. Now there is always a small procedure how to use the life raft or the small boats. So they went through the drill means they practiced that how we have to take out the boats and how we have to save our lives. Attach the lifeline. Now what are lifelines? Lifelines are ropes, and the end of these ropes you have a tube, a floating tube tied to it. You must have seen in movies if someone is drowning in a swimming pool or in the sea, people throw these tubes with ropes towards them to pull them up. Those are known as lifelines. So they tied the lifeline mean they attached the lifelines to their body and to the railings of the ship. Donned oilskins means they wore the oilskins and the life jacket. Oilskin also is used for the same purpose as the life jacket, to save the life, to help you float on the water so that you cannot drown. So the first indication of impending disaster, impending means which is about to come, came at about 6 p.m. with an ominous silence. Ominous means when you believe that something bad is about to happen. So with ominous silence means at 6 p.m. there was completely silent, and after that came the disaster. The wind dropped and the sky immediately grew dark. Then came a growling roar. Now what roar is this? This is the roar of the water. Okay. and an enormous cloud towered aft of the ship. There was a big cloud, and he could see that this big cloud is coming toward the ship. With horror, I realized that it was not a cloud but a wave like no other I had ever seen. So, when this cloud came closer, the narrator realized that it is actually not a cloud but it's a big wave, and this wave is so big that it is resembling like a cloud. It appeared perfectly vertical, means perfectly straight, and almost twice the height of all the other waves, with a frightful breaking crest. Now, what is this crest? Crest means the upper part of the wave, which looks quite foamy. The roar increased to a thunder as the stern moved up the face of the wave, and suddenly this roar converted into thunder. I've already told you that stern is the back part of the ship. So this wave came and hit the ship from the back. And for a moment, I thought that we might ride over it, means our ship will be able to tackle this wave. But then a tremendous explosion shook the deck. Deck means the main floor of the ship, the upper part of the ship. So suddenly there was an explosion, and whole deck is shaking. A torrent of green and white water broke over the ship. Torrent means water moving in high speed. So, torrent of water means water came all over the ship. My head smashed into the wheel, and I was aware of flying overboard and sinking below the waves. So, when this wave hit the ship from the back, due to the impact, the narrator flew in the air and he is thrown overboard in the water. Okay. I accepted my approaching death. As I was losing consciousness, I felt quite peaceful. And narrator, as he was drowning in water, he felt that now my life is over and he started feeling peaceful. Unexpectedly, my head popped out of water. But suddenly, what happened? His head popped out of water. Now, why did this happen? Because he's wearing the life jacket and he's been tied to the lifeline. I've already told you what is lifeline and how he is tied to it. These were the precautionary measures that they took before the weather starts to become worse. A few meters away, Wave Walker was near capsizing. Capsizing means completely overturning. So, suppose if this is the ship, so it is capsizing means it is completely overturning. Okay, so he is lying in the water a few meters away from the ship, and he is seeing clearly that his ship is capsizing due to the wave. Her masts almost horizontal. Now, if this is the ship, then these are the masts. So, if the ship is going to capsize, the mast will also from vertical will become horizontal. So, the masts are almost horizontal. Then a wave hurled her upright. But then what happened? A wave came from this side, and due to that, the ship is again in the upright position. You know, the structure of the ships from below, from the bottom, is such that they easily float over the water like this. Okay. My lifeline jerked taut. Now, I told you that the lifeline of the narrator was tied to the ship. And when the ship, due to the wave, is coming to the upright position, the lifeline which is tied to the ship is pulling the narrator. And jerk taut means to pull in a hard way, very hard. So, in a jerk, he was pulled towards the ship due to the ship when it was becoming straight again. I grabbed the guardrails and sailed through the air into Wave Walker's main boom. And guardrails are the rails which are there at the corners of the ship and in the boundary of the ship to protect the people who are standing over there in the corner. So, as soon as due to that taut or jerk he came near the ship, he grabbed hold of those rails, and with the help of those rails, he was able to climb back in the ship. Subsequently, waves tossed me around the deck like a rag doll. Now, like a doll, he was being tossed from one end to the other of the ship due to the motion of the ship and due to the high intensity waves and winds. And this also injured him. His left rib was cracked and his mouth was filled with blood and a broken teeth. Somehow he found the wheel, lined up the stern for the next wave, and hanged on. So he knew that the problems are not over yet. Again, the storm or the again a big wave could come. So he quickly lined the stern, means he made the ship again in a straight position so that the ship could move forward and can take a toll of another wave. And he waited for the next wave. Water, water everywhere. I could feel that the ship had water below. Means this wave has damaged the ship, and somewhere or the other part of the and somewhere or the other the ship is broken and water is seeping in. But I dared not abandon the wheel to investigate. But he is not having the courage to leave the wheel of the ship and go and investigate where the damage has been done. Because if he leave the wheel, maybe the ship could again move in other directions which would be harmful for them. Suddenly, the front hatch was thrown open and Mary appeared. Hatch is a small door opening in the floor. You must have seen in submarines or ships, you have these hatch which you open like this and you can come up to the deck. So, this hatch opened and from below came Mary. Who's Mary? Mary is his wife. And Mary shouted, "We are sinking. The decks are smashed means due to the wave, and we are full of water, means the water is seeping inside the ship is drowning." And quickly he said to Mary that you take the wheel. And I shouted and I scrambled for the hatch. Scrambled means you must have seen soldiers moving in a battlefield, or soldiers sticking to the ground and moving to hide their identity. They walk on their knees and on their elbows. That is known, they are completely close to the ground. That is known as scrambled walk. So he scrambled. Why is he scrambling? Because he cannot move in a straight manner because of the wind and the water. So he scrambled to the hatch and he went inside the ship. Larry and Herb were pumping like madmen. Pumping means they were using pumps to pump the water outside the ships. Okay, we all know that what are pumps. The what everybody has water pump in their home through which you fill water in your water tanks. So these type of water pumps are also used in ship to pump out the water in these type of cases when ship is drowning. These pumps can could be manual or they could be electrical. Broken timbers hung at crazy angles. Means I told you in the beginning that this boat is made out of wood. So this boat is broken, means the timber or the wood pieces are hanging from here and there because they are broken. The whole starboard side bulged inward. Starboard side is the front right portion of the ship. So if this is the front portion, then front right, this would be the starboard side of the ship. Now the wave has hit the starboard side and that is why it is bulged in. If your car met with an accident, there's a dent on the car. What is the dent? It is bulged in metal. Similarly, the ship has also bulged in. Cloths, crockery, charts, tins, and toys sloshed about in deep water. Sloshed means moving irregularly. So, in the water, these clothes, crockery, everything is floating irregularly here and there. If you have seen movie Titanic, you can visualize these things that water is seeping inside the ship and all the particular objects which are not fixed at a particular place are floating in water. I half swam, half crawled into the children's cabin. So he ran towards the children's cabin. Obviously, being a father, he's worried about the children. "Are you all right?" he asked his children. "Yes," they answered from the upper bunk. Bunk means a bed. So in ship, because the space is limited, so beds are constructed in this manner, one below and one on the above. So both the children are sitting on the upper bunk. "But my head hurts a bit," said Sue. Sue is short form for Susan. So the daughter said that my head is hurting. And see, she pointed to a big bump over her eyes. Bumps means it was swollen over the eye. Maybe during the explosion or during the hit, Susan might have hit her head somewhere on the ship, and that is why it is swollen. I had no time to worry about bumped head because he had something better to do. He has to save the lives of all of them. With the starboard side bashed open, means completely open, we were taking water with each wave that broke over us. Now, in ship, there is a thing known as water line. Suppose this is the ship, and this much part of the ship is completely underwater every time in normal days. So this is known as water line. So when there is a storm or big waves are being formed in the water, water comes above the water line with every wave, and that is what he's saying, that with every wave that is above the water line, water is coming inside from the starboard section, and that is why the ship is drowning. So he found a hammer, some screws, and a canvas. Now you know what is a hammer or screws. Canvas is a very strong cloth which is used to make tents, sleeping bags, and all. So he took a canvas, and he knew that this broken section would be needing some repair, otherwise, we will surely sink. Somehow, I managed to stretch canvas and secure waterproof hatch covers across the gaping holes. So, somehow, he spread the canvas, and with the help of hammer and the nails, he put the canvas on those gaping holes, the big holes which were there in the body of the ship through which the water is coming. Now, canvas is generally a waterproof cloth. So, obviously, if the holes are being secured with canvas, when the water will try to come through the holes, the canvas will reflect back the water, and the space, it is not completely a permanent solution, but still the pace at which the water is coming will be much reduced. Some water continued to stream below, but most of it was now being deflected over the side. The same thing that I explained to you right now. More problems arose when our hand pump starts to block up with the debris floating around the cabins, and the electric pump short circuit. Now these pumps, the water pumps, manual pumps, are used to pump water. But if with water small debris, pebbles, mud and all will also come in these pumps, it will jam the motor of the pump, and this is happening over here also, that the pumps are getting blocked, and the electrical pump short circuited due to the water. The water level rose threateningly, means at an alarming rate. Back on deck, I found that our two spare hand pumps had been wrenched overboard along with the forestay, the jib, the dinghies, and the main anchor. Overboard means thrown in water. So when he went up, he saw, or he realized, that his additional water pumps, two additional water pumps, which were lying on the deck, with dinghies. Dinghies means small boats. Anchor, you all know what is an anchor. It's a big metal heavy object which is used to stop the ship at a particular place. And forestay sail, I told you, kind of a storm jib. So these things, due to the storm, when the ship was, capsizing and all, so these things were thrown overboard because they were not tied to something. So they have lost these two pumps, storm jib, anchor, and dinghies. These things are no more with them. Then I remembered we had another electric pump under the chart room floor. Chart room is a room in a ship where you have all the charts and maps placed, where you can find the degrees and your course as to where you have to go. Means the captains of the ship prepare their journey in the chart rooms. So he remembered that there is another electric pump below the chart room, and he connected that electric pump to the out pipes. Out pipe means the pipe which will throw the water outside the ship, and he was thankful that the electric pump worked. The night dragged on with an endless, bitterly cold routine of pumping throughout the night. It was a cold night, and throughout the night they were pumping water, steering the ship, and working on the radio, trying to make communication. We were getting no reply to our mayday calls. Now you must have seen it in movies, that in helicopters or ships or aeroplanes, the pilots say, mayday, mayday, I'm crashing, this, that. What is this mayday? Mayday means radio calls which are international. They are not restricted to any boundary. The signal of these radio calls go internationally in the range of your system. Okay, which was not surprising in this remote corner of the world. But they were not getting any reply for their mayday calls, because this is a completely remote corner of the world where not many people come. Sue's head had swollen alarmingly. She had two enormous black eyes, and now she showed us a deep cut on her arm. So Sue's head is swollen, and she had big eyes, and now there was a deep cut in her arm. When I asked why she hadn't made more of her injuries, Before this, she replied, I didn't want to worry you when you were trying to save us. By morning on 3rd January, the pumps had the water level sufficiently under control for us to take 2 hours rest in rotation. So now the water has reached to that level that they don't need to pump regularly, and simultaneously they can, or in rotations, they can take rests. But we still had a tremendous leak somewhere below the water line. I told you what is the water line. The normal part, the part of the ship which is normally submerged under water, is known as the water line. And if the water comes above the water line due to the damaged ship or due to the storm, it will seep, the water will seep inside the ship through the cracks which are there due to the damage. So he's saying still there is something damaged above the water line, which is through where water is seeping. And on checking, I found that nearly all the boat's main rib frame were smashed down to the keel. Now, what is this keel? See, every ship is constructed in this way, from top to bottom. Okay, you never see ships in square shape or rectangle shape or triangle shape. They are always in a particular definite shape. Now, keel means the main frame of the ship, which gives it the form or the structure. Okay, the ship is in this shape. Now this shape is given to the ship by the keel. The main structure or the main shape of the ship is known as the keel. Okay, it could be made of timber or steel. So the main frame of the ship, or the main frame to the keel, to the part or the shape of the ship, is completely cracked or broken. In fact, there was nothing holding up the whole section of the starboard hull except a few cupboard partitions. The whole starboard section of the ship is completely damaged, and it is only being held by a few cupboard partitions. Now, you must have seen in your homes also that sometimes you have these shelves or drawers made out in your walls. Okay, so similarly, in the interior walls of the ship, you have some cupboard partitions where you can keep your belongings. So those cupboard partitions are the only thing which were holding the starboard section. From the outer frame of the ship, nothing was left to hold the starboard section. We had survived for 15 hours since the wave hit, but Wave Walker could hold together long enough for us to reach Australia. So the ship is not strong enough to take them to the nearest country, that is Australia. So I checked on the charts and calculated that there were two small islands a few hundred kilometers to the east. So a few hundred kilometers in the east, there were two islands according to the chart, and one of them was Isle Amsterdam. So it was a French scientific base. Means French people were the one who owned this island. This comes in their area, and it is their scientific base. Our only hope was to reach these pinpricks in the vast ocean. So this is their only hope. Pinpricks means very small, like a dot of a pin. So he's saying in this vast big ocean, this small island is like a pinprick, but it is our only hope to reach. Okay. So I'll finish this video over here. This is the first part of the video. If I try to cover the whole chapter in this video, it would be too long. I'll be making another video in which I'll be covering the second part. So you watch this video by the time, and you try to understand the chapter through this video. If you like the video, if you like the explanation, subscribe the channel and like the video. Thank you.